All right. Great. Great. Well, thanks y'all for having me once again to talk and share some information about NCCC. Now is a great time. Today is the day that our members for our class 29B start so they leave out from our campus today. Uh, Yay. Uh, to start their first round service this year. So we're excited to have a new class going out to different communities and serving throughout the southern region. This is kind of the breakdown, but I think most of you on the call are familiar with us, so I won't go through this piece, but just to remind you that we're part of this big umbrella of AmeriCorps programs. And each of us kind of have a different area that we're serving and supporting. Reminder that NCCC is that team-based, and we travel throughout the country. This is kind of just us talks about how each of us serve. And a lot of times when you think about NCCC, I know sometimes you think about disaster, and one of the reasons that makes NCCC a great fit to kind of be some of the ones that help with setting up volunteer and warehouses and helping to muck and gut homes and right after the disaster is that they do have the ability to jump in their 15-passenger van and go. Whereas with some of the AmeriCorps programs, it's not as easy, but each of us have kind of a spot, whether it's doing urban and rural development projects, whether it's more so assisting in times of disaster, but we all kind of help work together to help support communities throughout. So just a reminder, this is our region. The southern region is 20 states and territories once again. So you see, we cover Puerto Rico, we cover we go all the way up to Massachusetts, New Jersey. So we're pretty far-reaching region. So just to kind of give you an update of our members, we've recently been seeing a little bit younger Corps members, aged 18 to 26, but 40% now, where it used to be kind of an even split, like an even split between high school graduates, college experience, and some who are college graduates. We're getting a little bit younger, so seeing a little bit more on the 18, 19 side. Those who are, just getting out of high school and, want to take a break before they go to college or just trying to discover themselves, are joining our program. So, and just a reminder that we do have beginner skills levels. So with that, they're coming in and need a lot of different training, and that's partially what they're looking for. We still kind of have the same year where, we're now starting in August and going through is when our members will graduate, and we still kind of break that up into for this year, we still kind of break that up into 4 different rounds or quarters. So, and teams generally serve somewhere between 4 to 8 projects within their service year, going to community. A lot of time recently we've been splitting that up. Like generally we may have just one or 2 projects that are full round projects, but we do try to, because for the demand of projects, because of our region, and unfortunately we have in the past couple of years had smaller numbers join our program. So this year we have a total of 10 teams that we're sending out between our 20 states and territories. And so to be able to help meet more needs, we are trying to at least, split up the round. So generally our teams are serving about 4 weeks on one project and then moving on to another project before they come back to campus. Our areas of service have stayed the same. Still kind of that urban and rural development. So thinking about building houses, anything that involves working with young people, infrastructure improvement, different buildings, city buildings, helping when you think about the different agencies that we can support, different parks, things of that nature, natural and other disasters, our environmental stewardship, assisting our parks, trail building, things of that nature, and energy conservation. One that we don't get a lot of projects from, would love to see a lot more, more coming in on that area. But in regards to who can, once again be a sponsor, you see that list is pretty much, I like to say that, if you're not a for-profit, then we're pretty much able to kind of help support in some type of way, similar to other AmeriCorps programs. So just to give you some examples of projects that we have going on. And in Mississippi, we've been, supporting some of our state parks. Then also Stacy, maybe not this past year, but in the previous year, we've been doing some work with Camp Kamasa. We've helped to support, let's see, we'll have a project coming up in this next round, like beginning a team starting in September, that'll be locally, and they'll be helping with the United Way there, but actually a project in that they're working with several different partner agencies. So I think that's one way to, because a lot of times you look at 4 weeks and it's like, oh my goodness, will I have enough to occupy a full team of, young adults? Well, this project with United Way, they're looking at several agencies partnering together to sponsor a team. So they have Habitat, they have some of their local organizations that help to serve youth. And so they're doing some building repairs. They're also, with this project, helping with some of the disaster out of Rolling Fork, helping do some disaster work there under this project. There's several different partner agencies coming together, along with, I think even in the afternoons, they'll be working with an African American, or excuse me, in the morning, sometimes they'll be working with the African American Cemetery. So kind of a wide variety of work and service. And then in the afternoons, helping to tutor children. So I think really interesting in that it showed kind of all the different agencies that are helping to support a community, but then also when you think about a team, kind of learning about how these agencies work together, what are the needs overall in part to an agency. It will be an interesting project for them to walk away from and kind of see that happening all, within one project. Of course, you can be partners with just 2 people, or you can, I think, I would love to see a DOVIA project where several folks maybe apply. But, and I know that Stacy, you all have worked with Camp Kamasa in Mississippi Toughest Kids. You all work with your city parks to help have a team come and support. And so it's a great way that you can support the community and the city, work with the local government, but then also help support the nonprofit. So we're very open to that, and would love to, see more ideas coming out of this area. So just to give you an example, they work fast. Reminder, when you have 8 to 10 people working on a project, they can do things, like, you look at this, it's a slab, and then within 6 weeks, they have a full building up. And then also when we think about our communities, ways that we can help beautify, different things like that. These are some examples of photos that, different a variety of tasks that members can be involved in. And so it can be from, you saw from the previous list, it can be more hands-on where they are, helping to build or helping to repair homes or helping to, working with chainsaws or working with young people. Or it can be more, we need some database cleaned up, or we need some volunteer recruitment, things of that nature. So NCCC teams can do a little bit of all of those different things. So these are the dates, yay, coming up that are reminder for this program. You'll see that our dates have kind of, in terms of concept forms, dates that kind of passed for rounds 1 and 2, but starting off at the beginning of 2024, we're still taking applications. So we're about a little over a month out for when concept forms will be due for round 3, and then those will be due, I guess, on Halloween, that full application. So from the concept form, you're invited to apply, and then that's when you would submit your full application. And then for round 4, you have even a little bit more time to work on that concept form, which, just a reminder, the concept form almost just looks like a letter of intent. So it's just the the need and what will the team be doing. So that hasn't changed. The full application is changed, it's updated a little bit, but the kind of the major points of what the application looks like hasn't changed over the years. So once again, these are some of the things that sponsors provide when they are with the team. Just a reminder that because you are local, lodging is one of the things. That's actually I think one of the most difficult aspects for our sponsors is to think about how will they lodge them and finding a safe space for them to be that has access to a kitchen. But because our Vicksburg campus is 1 hour away from the majority of you all, you don't have to worry about that. You focus more, on just making sure that they have the supervision they need, which out of the 40 hours is 50%. So that's, 20 hours and providing the materials that's needed. Just a reminder, these are some of the things that we all provide. Once again, they are, we ask that our members, we test them. We're requiring that they get the COVID vaccinations, unless they have an exemption for that. Their budget for food, has gone up a little bit this past year to $6.10, where it used to be $4.75. They finally, I think this month, increased their travel food budget. So they were getting $15 a day, I believe, to travel on days of travel. Now I think they're up to $25 a day, which I think speaks to, just, the cost that they really, it costs that much just to eat. You're traveling from one location to the next. So what are our national priorities? These really haven't changed either within this past year. We're still looking at new sponsors. We want to make sure that we're not just, it's important that we want to make sure that we're meeting several needs within a community. And we know that, it's good to have new sponsors and not just, go to the repeat sponsor all the time. Although we want to come back and help support those who have applied in the past, we also want to make sure we're meeting new needs within the community. Also, with where we're located, disaster service, especially for when we're looking at Southern region priorities, those really come up big. Also, we work with the state commissions in each of our states to help identify what are the state required, like what are the needs within that community. For example, for Mississippi, we have some of our more rural locations being identified that don't necessarily have an AmeriCorps presence. And then also, supporting our state parks is, I think, one of their priorities. So we meet with each of those commissions along with our regional AmeriCorps team to talk about what that have been identified or that they feel are important for America within their state. And so we try to make sure that we're meeting those needs. And so when we look at projects, for what we've decided is that 50%, or our goal or our aim is to at least have no less than 50% meet those priorities identified by state leaders. And this one, I should have put like 50 stars by NCCC recruitment opportunities, because as I mentioned, like when you go from 2 years ago, we had 20, I believe 20, we started off with like 27 teams. And this year we're starting off with 10 teams. That's a major drop in the number of members that we have, not just our campus, but several of our, our campuses. I think we've noticed that it's maybe a trend within volunteerism, and with other AmeriCorps programs, although I think some AmeriCorps programs are seeing a little bit of improvement. I'm hoping that in the next year we will too, but we're asking a lot of our sponsors to help. So asking that they help post information on their social media, that they do a lot more with setting up opportunities for our members to talk with other young groups, with high schools, with colleges, or other youth organizations. It's so important that we, get our name out there and that we can get more members, because that allows us to be able to say yes to our sponsors. We've had a lot of great projects that I've had to say no to in the last couple of years. And it's because we just don't have the members to go around. And then with our local projects, it is our priority to make sure that we're serving our local community. And we want to make sure that we, as much as we can, with the limited number of teams, help to meet that need where we're here in Mississippi. Just a reminder, that they can do a lot in support of that. And this is kind of some of the reminders of the opportunities. Like if you all have opportunities to talk with young people, or you can help share this information in regards to what are the opportunities for being with AmeriCorps and NCCC. I think some people, we help with the GED. Some people don't. We make sure that they have a resume before they leave the program. They have an opportunity to earn up to 6 to 12 college credits before they leave our program, depending on if they're a team leader. And within service learning, diversity. And so they have opportunity. Is, even though they may be taking a break from college, they can still be working towards that goal. And of course, at the end of the program, after they get their 1,700 hours, they have the education award that can be used towards their college education, student loans. And then also not just, different trade schools. There's a list, but, depending on who it is, but it doesn't necessarily have to go through to what you consider your general, like 4-year college or whatever. It can be, there are other options in regards to how people can use their education award. So I thought this might be interesting for you all, because we want to help with ISPs. And so although we just had a group that left our campus, and I know that we haven't done ISPs as much in the last few years just with COVID, and we kind of limited how often our members would go outside of our campus. But these will be the times coming up where members will be on campus, especially if you have a project on that weekend. Then perhaps you can get with me and I can let our support team leader know, and maybe we can have a team help support something for the weekend or the after hours. Reminder that they're here during trainings during the day, or meetings during the day, but after 5 they're free. So if you have something in the afternoons on those weeks, or like I said, over those weekends, then maybe they can assist with that. Also, let's see. We'll have, like I said, one local team that'll be here right after September 11th, and they'll be here until October 10th. So we'll have one team on campus. So, if there's some things ISP wise that you're, maybe thinking about, they'll be busy for most of their days, but maybe there's something during that time on the weekends that could fit, that in kind of a big event coming up, then please let us know. Here's my contact information. I think most of you were all familiar with all of this, but hopefully you'll be able to, especially some of those dates and things like that, for those who weren't able to join on the call, share some of this information so that they can have the opportunity to apply. The process really hasn't changed, so I hope that you all will consider it or help other folks consider it as well. So, questions for me? Yes, Miss Elizabeth.
Actually do. I have a question and then a suggestion. The
Okay.
independent service projects, you do such a great job presenting this to where people can go with the flow. It's not too difficult. That's why I love it when you present it. The independent service projects, I remember there was a young man that did a video for us years ago when we needed one as part of his independent service project. It was something he could do remotely. And I'm just using Michelle as an example. She was wanting someone to help her with Twitter, and it's through it's a project she's doing with her role as being on the board of CCVA, which is a nonprofit. So if she wanted to engage someone for like 10 months, as long as they need to do their independent service project to help with social media, is that something she could do? And how would she present this, since it's not a one weekend thing, but maybe a 1 hour a week thing? Is that a doable? How would you go about that?
I think maybe if you could propose it in a, like write it up kind of what the commitment would be. And I think, especially with COVID, that was something that we weren't as necessarily, we kind of thought of it as a
Mm.
group comes, get something done, and then they're done. But I think we're a little bit more open, especially also, I didn't talk about our FEMA Corps program as much, but they also can earn ISP hours, and they serve throughout the entire United States. And so it may be something that we send to one of our FEMA Corps teams to assist with for their ISPs, or even some of our traditional, depending on. So I think it's an option. We just have to kind of figure out all the details behind it. Yeah.
Well, they're so savvy about social media and technology. And I just remembered this was years ago, and I don't even think they had the software, but they somehow created this fabulous video, and now they're rewriting the interpretive plan for that museum site. So I hate that that's happening, but because it will evolve out. But I just wanted to ask that because somebody might need that help. The other was a suggestion, because I know we had met at Sunnybrook Children's Home, and
Mhm.
that home is transitioning into a transitional program for people who've been in a children's home, but now they're focusing on an older age group to teach them life skills, very much in line with AmeriCorps NCCC. They teach them how to budget, how to drive a car, how to help them graduate, get college hours, find a career. And so I don't know if you want to revisit that one site, but I'm just thinking for your whole region, if because these transitional programs are becoming the thing, because of foster care, they don't want these children's homes as much as they used to hold the children. They want to have foster homes and then have these transitional programs. So I thought that you've got all these states to cover all the way to Massachusetts. That might be something to help you with recruitment, because they are looking for something for their next chapter, and it would help them with leadership skills.
Yeah,
So
that would be great. Elizabeth and I would love to maybe follow up with who I need to talk to.
with, well, my cousin out there is in charge of finance, but that guy named Merle I'll find out and
Okay.
get to you. I'll let you know, because I can't remember. I don't know if it's Kenny, it's somebody, but they got rid of the guy that was out. He left, the guy that was there, who was military. And so anyway, that is not there anymore. So anything, I think it would be something, it's a great option for kids who are looking for their next chapter, who do not have a support system like a family. And this would be a way to help you and help them.
Mm, yeah, and we would love to have more, because I think it is a great program that helps to do that.
Mhm.
That helps
For
give them
at-risk
direction,
kids.
that helps build the networks that they need.
I think there's one I know of in Tennessee. I know they have them in every state. So, it's just something to, I'll email you the name. Okay. Thank you for this great presentation. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate all of you do. Really do.
Same here.
Tamika, if you will send me the links to those documents, I'll put that in the next DOVIA e-newsletter. I can send a special edition with the links to the concept forum, etc.
Okay.
And if you have any graphics already pre-made, I can also put those on the DOVIA social media.
Okay.
That's a great idea. That's definitely a great idea. Thank you, Tamika. You did great. You always do, and I did learn something new. Like I said, I